Hi, and welcome. Today is going to be a little bit on the edge for me. And if you're watching, welcome. My name is Camille Titoni, and this is the podcast that I just began, and it's titled Destiny's Place for Grace. And it is remembering the true you. It's love always in bloom when we choose to have peace, and peace is the theme in, uh, I guess, in a different kind of a way, because we're going to talk about various topics. I started last week, Fridays at noon Eastern Time, with mental health and mental illness, which is what I have dealt with and managed for 50 years. And that was at 19. I'm reiterating a little bit of what I said last week to give you um, a view of, living with mental health and illness and wellness, and getting back to that. It's a conscious effort to make your way back toward a lovely path. And I've done that as best I can, as often as I can, and with clarity, and um, you know, uh, making it a non-negotiable part for myself, life for myself. And so, with the mental health issue, which I will say, neurodivergence has been really speaking to me about a misdiagnosis. But I had three diagnoses. My first diagnosis was schizophrenia. My second diagnosis was only bipolar, and then I got the latest, greatest, bigger one, schizoaffective manic depressive, which is schizophrenia with bipolar. And that was because the doctors, the medical field, said that I was hallucinating, but truly I wasn't. I really did have a visitation. I didn't mean to go here, but a visitation from a, a I believe it was an angel, and and so I was told what I was experiencing was a Indian word of Sumati. And after I left, I was in a hospitalization in New York, where I'm from. And after that hospitalization, it took me like 3 months to find out the spelling and the Sanskrit word of what it meant. So it means, visitation from higher power, whether it be our higher consciousness or a being. I'm sorry, I won't. I won't touch that. And a being, a being from above. And so, and yes, I've had prophetic dreams growing up and over time. And so, it's questionable to me what I really am experiencing. It's, for me, it is more spiritual than psychological. Anyway, the subject is mental health, and it's brings you into an altered state. And I've had a lot of experiences with it, breakdown. If you check out last session, I talked about having been in my first and only relationship, married and divorced by the time I was 22. And so, yeah, and I was hospitalized in the state of Colorado, where we moved to immediately. And so, anyway, that story is there. And I found myself in the hospital. I blacked out a nurse's eye because I was trying to escape from the hospital. And every time I had breakdowns, it always surrounded religiousness and oh, well, welcome if someone is here. I don't know if anyone is, but I can't tell. No one's chatting. So, so it was always about religiousness, spirituality. I mean, when I was in the hospital and they were giving me uh, injection after injection to like knock me out. I was manic. That's that high level of intensity. And I am high level intense, naturally. I don't know if I was like that when I was small or not, because I was very shy and quiet. And so now let us begin. And I want this to be uniquely mine and a little different, I guess. It's not really like the business podcasts I watch and which are great. I there's so many I tune into and others. And so I would ask you, if you would, to just let's center ourselves and close our eyes. The breath is everything we are. And close your eyes, center yourself with the breath. Breathe in, hold it at the top of your head, and breathe out long, deep to the bottom of your feet, the soles, and down to Mother Earth, the core, the chrysalis, where she's waiting for you to release everything and anything you no longer need. And once we do that, we'll breathe just naturally and think about what it is you don't need any longer in your life. Fear, anger, anything that really disturbs your uh, lovely place and space of heart where grace is. And we ask this, that the Holy Spirit descend upon us here now together and rise in your heart, in the mansions that I believe are there, levels and layers. And once we fill up one, then we move and expand to another. And it is with joy innate in us, it's a choice. And so just continue to breathe and find your center. If you've never done it, it's just feeling the warmth and the beauty of that heart of yours beating. Focus on the breath and the beating of your heart if your hands are at your heart space. I thank you for coming and taking that little time with me. And yeah, I am going to depend a little bit on notes today because, boy, I don't know about your week, but mine was insane. That literally. Um, I just mean that, in the way that people say that. Oh my God, that was insane. And so it was a challenging week for me. And not for anything mental. It was emotional. It was a lot of things going on, and I'm very busy. I want to tell you, I am a coach, and I am an energy master, and I'm an affectionata of peace. And I hope now, with time, over getting to the point of making this a little more professional. I've got a lot yet to do. Um, uh, it'll be something that will, I hope, influence those that really need, because it's just such a world that I see so much happening with mental health and suicide. And yeah, I have statistics here. I don't know if I can find them quickly or not, but yeah. So what I was going to talk about today was how you know therapists and psychiatrists gather their information, because there was never a blood test or any sort of way. It was just by your actions and your moves and thoughts and what you brought up in the office. And 50 years ago was a heck of a lot different in comparison to today, because And there's so many more. There's like 700,000 people that attempt suicide and, do kill themselves. And it's just, it's so not necessary. It's a choice. And it's really a selfish choice because that's what I learned. You can get through it. You can absolutely focus on something in a room. I know when you're despondent like that, it seems absurd, but it is what we can do to absolutely make us more aware of what is occurring in that moment, because there are interchangeable moments from sanity to insanity, you would say, from consciousness to that unconscious awareness. And because I have had experiences where I came out of it immediately, and something pulled me out of that moment of, whatever it might have been. I mean, I went through rage, and yeah, it really brings out a lot of emotional. And I believe that every breakdown, uh, it leads to a breakthrough. It really brings out and into your life and awareness and consciousness the true soul you are. That's why I tagged this, remembering the true you, the true at the core of you. So my page is upside down. Yeah, you get a little silly sometimes, and it's good to have that innocence, that playfulness, that quality, because once that leaves, um, you know, uh, it's good to, in every aspect, for that connection with spirit, with creativity, unbounded, and yeah, it's just it's a flow that you're in, and I find it so easy to create when I am, and uh, you will too. I'm really not prepared today, so I'm going to keep it short. And I just would like to say that, well, it is a challenge to be, have that mental health. It makes you indecisive. It brings in, I was very self conscious. I was like I am now, tugging at my clothing instead of feeling comfortable. And it brings a lot of indecision in. It brings a lot of fear. I was always based in fear. And then things that happen in our childhood will bring out more fear. It depends on, it's such an individual, unique, uh, unto you illness too, so it's, well, it's understanding, if you've felt any guilt or shame or fear, or I know I had abusive experiences when I was young, and they really, I was bullied, and, all these added to the kind of like the mess that was made uh, for when I grew to be an adult, and even decision making still today is hard. I never had clear boundaries, and boundaries are extremely important in this finite life, because I don't like to say it, but it's really true. There's a lot of people that are not really genuine and nice. They look as though they're nice to you and with you, and it seems real, but it's, there's an underlying context of what they're saying, doing. And you're when you feel that you're a genuine person and love with your whole heart, and it's risky. It becomes too much of a good thing, a good thing for them, a bad thing for you. That's what I have found and experienced. So uh, the mania, it was always a part of me, but I also with depression, and I was in depression for like 9 months, where I slept a whole day away, and I basically got up to have a bite to eat in the kitchen if I wanted to. Maybe 3 days didn't, and it was about a broken heart. And but your heart breaks, but it heals. That's the resilience that we do have. Don't want to take your life because of that. because in just a few days, you have to trust spirit. You have to trust the energy of love, that it's really flowing, and it's especially coming now. And so, you get a little sleep, you have racing thoughts with the mania, and just the opposite. You just have no interest in life and anything. And that's kind of like the victim when you take on that uh, depression, in a way, I don't mean to hurt anyone's feelings who has depression, because I've suffered with it, but you're kind of, and sometimes it is a chemical imbalance, and there's medication, but that is supposed to be short term, because when we go out in nature, when we connect with something, a higher being than ourselves, when we serve people, we get outside of ourselves, and it's just so much more loving, and we develop so much more about ourselves, and our soul becomes more loving. Like when I talked about the heart having mansions in the Bible, Jesus taught that my Father has many mansions, or God said it. I'm not that familiar with Bible, but I know that. And I thought about it, and I said, like, we have chambers in our heart, and there are mansions in our heart. And once we fill one of those mansions, we level up. We go up and have a more passionate and a fieriness, and whatever it takes to live ourself, be our best self, be the true you. That's what I really advocate. And I really would, I am a little unsure of what I want to say, because I didn't practice enough. And preparation is everything in life, isn't it? Sometimes, especially something professional. But if you bear with me, um, over time it will improve, and it will get better. And there's stories that are always, coming up. And if I knew that someone was here and was sharing in, we could have a discussion, back and forth. But it will be videoed and stayed here, and anybody can tune in. So with that, I'm going to end it here today, because it is new, and there's just a lot I could say, stories I could share, and then it's not only the topic of mental health. It's what I see in the world, the value of people. And I've already said this, so I don't want to repeat myself if you've seen one of them before, or if you know me. And I hope you want to get to know, to come here, to be uplifted by the time you leave. And that's my goal, to uplift. And God really only wants us to be happy. And things that come into life, stress, or problems and issues, and really serious events in our lives, uh, that's just life here in the big city, or the small town, or anywhere you are on this globe, because that's what Earth is. It's the I believe that every day is one day closer to going home, to the home we have, in the heavens, in the realms of the universes that are out there. And we're just energy, and everything is energy. And so I invite you back. I hope something touched you, resonated, and you'll join me again. And with that, I will say ciao for now, and be your best self, and always live uh, as if your heart is in full bloom, because then peace comes in and a beautiful state exists. Thank you. Gosh.